Okay, so you've just seen me working on my weekly journal. Now, this is in my Midori. It's a landscape version. Those of you who've watched my Final Facts video will know that I prefer to work landscape rather than working this way for my journal. It just gives me more room to work with. This is actually a weekly diary that I designed. As you can see, it's called Rose Layout. It's very kindly made for me by Ray Blake of My Life All in One Place, because I didn't have the ability to set it up in a booklet format and everything and get it printed and checked and everything, whereas he knows how to do that. So I designed it and he put it all together and printed me one out, and we've taken the time to go through it and use it and everything else. So I've been using it for a few weeks, as you can see. The actual layout, let me show you a page near the back where it's a bit blanker. The actual layout, we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday and notes. For each day we've got the day and a place for the date, so it's undated. We've got 3 lines for appointments, and then we've got a large notes area. Over here in our notes we've got to do and notes, which is just a general for the week rather than for the whole, for each day. And at the bottom here it just says week of, beginning date to end date. So for instance, this is 4th of November to 10th of November. And I've written in the dates in advance all the way through. So this takes me right the way through to, I think, the 2nd week of January. The format that I'm working with is a bullet journal. Now, it's kind of my own version of a bullet journal. I will link to a video here somewhere where you can go and have a look at the basic premise of a bullet journal. But the idea behind it is that you keep an ongoing list. Instead of dealing with things on a daily basis and then having to rewrite things and redo things and go through lists over and over and over again, you start at the beginning of the month with a list of things that you need to achieve that month. You sort those into various days that you need to do them, you put in your appointments, and then as each day goes by you write your to-do lists in. Instead of transferring something to the next day and the next day and the next day, if you don't do it, you just leave it where it is. So you're working with a whole month at a time. It sounds a bit complicated when you explain it like that, but actually it's quite easy to do. So for instance, I'm going to flick through to this week in a minute, because this week is where I've really got into the swing of it, as you can see. But let me just talk you through what I do. So I put in important things at the top in the lines. Let me just zoom in on a week where I've got not an awful lot going on. I can't show you too closely because it's got personal information in there. Here we go. If I just zoom in on this, you'll be able to see a little bit better what is happening. So for the day, at the top here, I write in my flatmate's hours. So whatever shift she's working, I put it in there. That means that I can plan my videoing around when she's not home. So I've got quiet to work with and she's not interrupted when she's home. I also have, normally in these lines I will put in appointments or important things to remember, like renewing my library books or calling somebody or anything like that. I don't have a huge amount of stuff, that's why I've only got a few lines there. And I also put in my moon phases and things. And then this area is for my to-do list. So, for instance, here is a section with a to-do list in. So for Monday, the 16th, you can see Helen was off. So I spent most of my day working on admin and class stuff. Orange I use for my classes. Pink I use for videos and other stuff to do with work. Purple is personal. Yellow is very important. Green is to do with money. in any shape or form, and blue is admin stuff. So it's a very simple colour coding system, but it just allows me to look at an entire week and go, oh, okay, today I'm mostly filming videos, or today I'm mostly doing admin, or today I've got lots of very important stuff that I have to get it done. And I can kind of gauge my day based on the colour that stands out. So there's various ways of doing a bullet journal. I've come up with my own system of marking things, and I let it develop naturally. I took my cues from the bullet journal, but for the most part I've just set it up how I would normally tick things. So anything that I need to do has a checkbox next to it, and when I've started it I tick it off. So anything that's got a tick through it is a work in progress. Anything I've finished or that's cancelled gets scrubbed out. I don't know if you can see that on that one, but that one there that's crossed out. That one's crossed out. It's hard to see on the camera with the highlighter on, but that's crossed out. So I can see straight away that whatever that is hasn't been finished, and it's an orange one to do with classes, and then I've got a pink one outstanding, which is a video something. Okay, so that's fairly easy to flip back and go, oh yeah, I still haven't done that, I still need to do it. Now, sometimes these things are things that are not time dependent, sometimes they are time dependent. For instance, this one, this top one, actually I need to do that next week. So I'll go to next week and I'll check the date, which is the 7th of the 10th, and I'll just put 7/10, and then I cross it out. So I know where it's been moved to. So if I forget that I've moved it, I come back to here and go, oh, I've crossed it out. Oh, 7th of the 10th. So I go to the 7th of the 10th, and I will put it in there now because it's going to the next month, because that's October. So I'll pop that one in there. And highlight it orange. So that's now been transferred forward to the next month. Oops. Lost my focus there because it was a white page, sorry about that. And I keep doing that, like on a monthly basis, I will move stuff forward. So that is now moved forward. This one is actually on this week, so that can get crossed off as well. I've moved that to within the month, but I just moved it just for the sake of being able to cross this week off, because it was the only thing left. So that week is finished. When I've completely finished a week, I cross it through. So I know whether I've marked it off or lined it through or whatever, this means this week is finished. Everything on this week is done. Same here, everything on that page is done. So as I flick through, I can see, you know, the first page where I've got stuff that is still outstanding is actually the one I was working on there. And I've got two things there to transfer to next month. So those are not time dependent. So I will put them in my notes section for week 1 of October. Well, actually it's going in week 2 because October is pretty full there. So I just put it in my general notes section. It's not time dependent. It's just something I need to do next month. Okay, so I can now cross those out. Everything else is done. That needs highlighting because it's just something that I need to keep a record of. So that is done, and that is done. So those weeks are now done. Now that I've finished those weeks, I can now put my clip on those 2 weeks. There it is. So now that they're finished, I can put my clip back in, and I know that up to that point is completely finished. What I normally do with my clip is I put it, like today is a Friday, so I would normally put it here. to indicate that it's Friday, but this is actually last week, so I'm just going to pop it up there for now. Then I would simply go through the list doing the same thing with everything else. So just quickly checking, those are all done, that's finished. So it's basically just a really big to-do list. That still needs to be done. So I'm just going to move that generally to October. That can be now crossed off now, and that's that page finished. This is all work in progress, that's finished. This is work in progress, that's dependent on that. That is in progress, those are in progress, so I can't cross that day off, that page off, because I haven't finished it yet. Okay, and then we're on to this week. And normally I cross things out as I go, but I've been holding off on a few things, like Wednesday. I completed all of Wednesday's stuff quite early in the week because I got onto a roll with doing my accounts. As you can see, everything's green. I got onto a roll with doing my accounts, doing my PayPal stuff, everything. I managed to sort it all out. So everything that I had scheduled for Wednesday, I actually finished on Monday, which is why this hasn't been done, because this is tied to this. What I try to do with working with this horizontal format is anything here that doesn't get done, if I need to move it, I will try to move it to the equivalent day down here. So visually, going across, I can see, oh, that didn't get done, so I'll do it down here. That didn't get done, so I'll do it on Sunday. That didn't get done, so I'll have to move it to next week. That way it just makes more sense for me. So this column is still today, because this is Friday. This is today here. Okay, that section there is today. But I'm also including anything that didn't get finished on Monday, because Monday is directly above it. When I go to tomorrow, I will put in tomorrow's list. And rather than going back and doing everything from yesterday, I will first check that I did everything from last week, from Tuesday. Now I've got important stuff there that I still haven't done, so I need to get that finished. Oh, no, I've done that one. I haven't done that one, so I do need to... That one was originally orange, that needed to be done Tuesday. Now it's important. I've done it in yellow. So I just put that in this morning. So really I need to get that done tomorrow. Okay? So once that's crossed off, then I can go back and see if there's anything there that needs doing. And then I can go back and see if there's anything here. So this will be the last one, and if there's anything there that needs doing, it will transfer to here, and so on. So it's a very simple linear format. I don't go sideways as well as down, I just go down. And the trick for me is working out when to put things in. So things that can need to be done, or I should do, but could be transferred to next week, I put on Thursdays, because there's no day here to transfer it to. So, for instance, edging canvases, I can do that any time. It doesn't really matter if it gets done this week or not. So, if I don't get a chance to do it on Saturday or Sunday, I can carry that down to Thursday next week and do it next week. And if I have to go out next Thursday, I can carry it forward to another Thursday, or I can move it to a day where it actually needs to be done time dependently. So it sounds a little bit complicated, but it works for me. For how I work, it's kind of like a linear chronodex, which sounds weird because a chronodex obviously is working in a circle, but I simply do this without the bit in the middle that tells me how long things are going to take. I don't need to know how long things are going to take, I just need to know what I need to do and what's priority for that day. So for instance, today you can see my priority is this and this, and the priority is mostly pink and quite a bit of orange. So my priority today is YouTube videos, which is why I'm working on a YouTube video, and then I will do I'll probably do 2 YouTube videos to 1 class item because there's more pink than orange and it's about double. So I'll do 2 YouTube videos. I've actually just done one and I'm doing another one now, and then the next thing I'll do is whatever this is here for my class. So that's this week. For the beginning of each month, because this is week 30th of September to the 6th of October, I've popped in just a calendar day page. But the new version that we've got of this actually has a monthly page. Coupled with this video somewhere in Ray's blog post will be a show of the monthly page. It's very simple. It's just a list of important days, so important events, which gives you the option to put in birthdays, holidays, all that kind of stuff. A grid that allows you to put in very important appointments or schedule things or put length time things or project things in. If you've got to spend an entire week on a particular project or something like that. And then at the bottom we've got the goals and debrief. Now I took that idea from Lime Tree Fruits. Rain over at Lime Tree Fruits uses that on her monthly one, and I found it really, really useful. It's basically this for the month. So anything that is crucial that you finish for the month. So for instance, this month's crucial task was update my YouTube videos. Vlogtober. So I wrote that in my goals for the month. Vlogtober and update YouTube. So that was my general monthly goal, and then all of these pink ones here are my breakdown of that goal to achieve that. So when I get to the end of the month, I can flick back through and I can go, oh yes, I've got lots of pink, so I must have done my YouTube stuff. That must be finished. I can put that in my debrief, that's finished. Whereas the stuff that I'm still working on for classes, that's got a little behind. My orange stuff, I'm noting that there's an awful lot of things that haven't been crossed out yet. So I need to go through that and put that onto my monthly goals for next month. So next month, my priority for week 1 will be catching up on class stuff, and probably week 2, and then week 3 I'll see what else needs doing. It would by then it would probably need to be finance or admin or something like that. So that is how my journal is shaping up bullet-wise. I hope it makes sense. If you have any questions, please do ask, because when you're using a system, it's much easier to understand it than when you've got to explain it to somebody else. But this is really working for me, and it's as a linear format, it's fantastic. The diary section, the way, I know it's my design, but I really like it. I love this diary section, and actually we've actually got exactly the same thing but in vertical format, where you've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday notes. So if you prefer to use your journal that way, you can have exactly the same setup, because this is very roughly, the page is 8 by 8 inches. So you can have exactly the same setup, but you can hold your journal that way if you prefer. What we've also got available is for the monthly one, we're going to have a monthly special, which will be this, followed by a page of dot matrix notes, dot grid notes. So you'll have a week, dot grid notes, a week, dot grid notes, and right at the front, you'll have your month. So it's a complete pack for an entire month, or you can print out the sideways or the landscape versions of the weekly calendar as a booklet, which is what I've got. You can print out several months, so you can do a full book of 12 months and have a monthly calendar, or you can have one sheet that you slot into your week or into the middle of your notebook here for the month that you're working on. And of course we've got the dot matrix ones for, a lot of people use them for handwriting samples and things like that, but I like to use them for notes because I don't like writing on lines. Dots keep things organised without having to use grids or lines. And those are available for notes. So instead of having to have a notes book and a weekly calendar and a monthly page, you can have the whole thing all in one booklet. That's what I'll be using when this one runs out. This one won't run out until January. So until January, I'll just slot in a page of the monthly one that I will probably pop into the middle of here and have October available in the middle. Because obviously with these you can just take your page and slot it in and voila. Yeah, I don't really need notes at the moment because I've got a notebook at the front here. But as you can see, my Midori is pretty stuffed, and it would be nice if I could just get rid of one of the notebooks and put my diary in this section, so I can have my diary and my craft book with bits and pieces that I'm keeping, and then my journaling stuff at the back here. So yeah, that would be really nice if I could do that. I could get rid of my notes book. These books, this is very, very thin, as you can see, because it's only, I think it's 8 weeks or something. No, 12 weeks, 13 weeks. This one takes me from the beginning of September through to the middle of January. So it's pretty chunky. If you add in maybe 5 extra pages for your months, plus the double pages, it's going to be double the width because of the dot matrix on the back. So it would be around the thickness of this one by the time you've finished. So 2 of those would fit nicely into your Midori without having to have a separate notebook. Obviously, for those of you who prefer written explanations, Ray will explain it all a lot better than I've just waffled through it. But I know some of you like me to do show and tell, to show you what I'm working on, rather than messing about with various different things. So yeah, that's my bullet journal. I will update you later on when I'm a bit further through it, because I am still working out the creaks in the system. Like I said, I had to change the way I worked with it. The actual bullet journal, you put a box next to it for things that you need to do. You tick it when it's done, and if it's cancelled, you cross it through. But that doesn't work for me visually, so I find it much easier to cross it through when it's finished. And then I've got a work in progress, means I've ticked it. Yeah, so, and these little stickers, these are just various bits of, these are luminous stickers, so that was really important. I absolutely had to do that day. It was time dependent and it was extremely important, so I put a little sticker next to it to make sure that I didn't forget. And what do you know, I didn't forget. So yeah, that is my current planner for my Midori, as designed by myself and created by the wonderful Ray Blake, who is all tech savvy and stuff. So if you'd like a copy of this, there will be copies available. Ray is just doing a landscape version of the monthly one for me, and then I think he's going to put it all up on his blog. So yeah, as soon as you see that, you can download it and start printing it yourself, and of course, as always, it's completely free. Have fun, see ya!